How's it going, guys? Cheese here at Cheese on Everything, on the roof of the RV today because we're going to be doing some major upgrades. Hit the subscribe button because we have a big trip coming up. But today we're going to be doing a solar build on top of the RV. Going to make this RV completely off grid so we can go camping whenever we want and still have power. Let's start off with the components. I've chosen the Renogy 100 watt solar panels. These are the thin flexible ones, so you can just bolt them onto the roof and tape them on. Nice and easy. And I've got 4 of these, so we got 400 watts of solar to power the whole RV. So before we put the solar panels on the roof, you want to put a bit of insulation because the panels get really hot. So over here we got the corrugated plastic panels that Daniel's cutting right now. We're gonna slide that underneath the solar panels, give it some air and insulation. All right, so once we get the surface clean, we can tape the panels down with the RV tape. Because this is a special membrane, we didn't really want to put too many holes through here. We're just using the air conditioner vent to thread down all the wiring. All right, jackpot. We got a hole here for the AC unit, and that leads right into the hole for the cabinets. This stuff is super strong, so we're just gonna tape all the panels down. Hopefully it won't come flying off the highway. All right, so this is day 2 of the solar build. Got a new haircut too because it was getting really long. And right now we have the solar cables routed through the air conditioner over here. The next problem is getting these wires through to the bottom because I want to put the batteries on this side of the RV. All the weight of this RV is over here. We got the stove, the microwave, the fridge, all the heavy stuff is on one side, so I want to balance that out by putting the batteries on this side. But the problem with that is running the wires from this side of the RV all the way around to this side. Unlike the van builds where everything is already gutted and you're starting out fresh, this already has all the walls and everything covered. So I think I'm going to use the plug in there, and I think that wire runs all the way down, and you can see here all the wires are actually coming down through the wall into the fuse box. I'm going to be using this fishing wire. It's not actually a fishing line, but it's called a fishing wire, and it's just a metal wire that you can stick through the wall and you can fish wire through it. And of course, with all things electrical, you want to turn the power off before you work on it, so it's going to get a little dark in here. So instantly I'm already running into problems. This wire over here is going all the way down through the wall, but then there's the outside shower that's in the way of the wires that go all the way down. So now I'm gonna have to take apart the shower enclosure from the outside and see if I can see the wires going through the wall. Here is the shower enclosure, and through this hole you can actually see the other side of the trailer. So everything is open, so gotta just take this thing off and check out the insides. Took this thing apart and it's not looking good. We got a frame that runs all the way around, so we can't really see the inside of the wall here. And so we're gonna have to find out another way of doing this. 3 hours later, I finally found an access port. Basically took off all the panels outside, drilled a hole right through here, through the wood, and finally got a spot to thread the wire through. And so now I'm going through the back of my refrigerator and then the wooden panel right here that leads to the couch, and we'll go around the trailer that way. So instead of drilling more holes in the RV to route this wire all the way around, I've just bought these wire covers and I've bolted it to the side of the RV here, and I'm running all the wires right around the corner. We got 2 AGM batteries here that I'm going to put in, transferred in from the boat. And so we're going to have 2 batteries in here and 1 on the outside, and it's going to power this whole RV. With RVs, they're a little bit different from camper vans where there is a plug for you to charge your batteries. So I'm going to have to add a transfer switch because I'm adding another power source to charge the batteries. That huge extension cable that charges the RV from outside is enclosed in this box right here, and the lead comes out right here You can see the thick wiring. And so I put in this transfer switch, which I'll open up and let you see. I just basically cut this wire leading to the RV and put in this switch. And all I'm doing here is adding 2 inputs into 1 output. So basically all this switch is doing is when you plug into an RV campsite, it'll detect that you are connected to shore power. But when you don't have that connection and you switch the inverter on, it'll use the solar power and use your batteries to charge the RV. I have all the wires hooked up really nicely now on this board. This is the main battery switch and fuse going to the batteries. And this is the switch for the inverter, also with an inline fuse, 250 amps. And it's got a double wire, which came with the 2000 watt inverter. And the moment of truth. Nothing exploded, thank God. So the main point of this solar build and the 2000 watt inverter is to make this AC unit work as well. So let's see if that 2000 watt can power this 5000 BTUs. Okay, it seems like it's working. Crank that up and let me see if I can turn it to the max power without blowing a fuse. So with all the electrical done and the AC now working, let's move on to the outside and upgrade the propane tanks. So one of the only ways here to refill propane tanks in Ontario is to just exchange them. We don't really have too many refill stations. And in theory, that is really convenient if your propane tank wasn't bolted to the frame, which it is here. Every time I want to exchange the propane on this trailer, I have to unbolt all the bolts and exchange it with the socket set. Today I'm going to make this process a lot easier and a lot less frequent. So I bought this plate off of Amazon, which doubles the propane tank capacity. So now I can store 2 tanks instead of 1, which halves the frequency of me changing the propane tanks. And we're going to mount it today using these U brackets I bought from Home Depot. And hopefully it'll be a direct bolt-on, so I don't have to do any modifications to the trailer. So in order to switch between the 2 tanks, I've had to get a new regulator. It's got 2 sides for hoses, and there's a little switch here that you can switch between the 2 propane tanks. Once one of them is out, you can switch it to the other side and keep on using it. Alright, so just putting on some last minute touches. We got this plastic cover for the tanks to give it some protection against the elements. And it's got a nice opening up top so you can reach all the knobs. Makes it easy access. And then you got the gauges right here so you see which tank's empty and full. Just got it done before sundown. Nice addition to the trailer. Got 2 nubs here that you can pop open. And then you can access all your propane right here. So all the power upgrades are done on the trailer. Can't wait to take it out. Subscribe if you want to see the trip that's coming up. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.